Most Americans are oblivious to the natural history of the continent. They're only concerned with events that happened no later than 500 or so years ago. Go beyond that limit, and you're considered an intelligent history buff. What the citizens of North America and countries are really missing out on are the lost benefits of a prehistoric past. Benefits only glimpsed at through erroneous movies like DreamWorks Ice Age. Which, it's not, I don't think it's a bad movie, I just think it could have represented things a little bit better. About 10,000 years ago, humans arrived and disrupted a mosaic of behemoth mammals and birds comparable to the wildlife of today's Africa. Those humans adapted their behaviors to fill the ecological niches left by outcompeted species, such as the many large grazing mammals and population-controlling predators. Then the Europeans arrived, disrupting the ecosystem in a quicker, yet deadlier way than the natives could within millennia. By eliminating the megafauna of North America, the continent has been left highly vulnerable to invasive species like kudzu, snakehead fish, and European starlings. Through a neat little expensive trick, we can bring back morphologically and trophically similar species to the great megafauna that once rode the expansive wilderness of America, or what I like to call proxy species. These proxy species will help manage the environment in ways man has not seen for millennia. They will bring new life to North America and reenact the historical flame that extinguished way too soon. America should be rewilded because it would restore the balance that was lost so long ago. Humans entered the North American continent through the Beringian land bridge around 40 to 20,000 years ago. They traveled thousands of miles out of Africa while chasing their next meal. This led them to Europe, Asia, Oceania, and eventually the Americas through what is now Russia and Alaska. Meanwhile, in what is now the United States, a parallel version of the African safari existed. Proboscideans, pecaries, humongous ground sloths, all sorts of bovids, camels, horses, carabids, tapirs, glyptodons, and even a species of gigantic turkey made the ground thunder with their giant footsteps. Not to mention the direwolves, Rhesus, American lions, Smilodon, Hemotherium, Arctodian bears, and Teratorns that prowl the prairies and forests. All these large, furry, and feathery creatures kept nature in check for epochs until humans arrived. The combination of anthropic competition and climate change pushed most, if not all, species over the edge about 10,000 years ago, giving them about 30 to 20,000 years of a struggle for disappearing resources. The conditions for the extinct species still existed after the human invasion of the Americas, except they became smaller and surrounded by humans. The natives developed methods of filling in the gaps that grazers and predators left behind by burning thick undergrowth in forests for pathways and hunting the remaining species for sustenance. After Europeans arrived to the Americas, they wreaked havoc on the environment and the native population, causing them to abandon their ecological ways. With both the megafauna and the natives absent from their duties, America was left highly susceptible to invasive species. With the introduction of proxy species like tigers in place of smilodons, giraffes in place of ground sloths, Asian elephants in place of mastodons, condors in place of teratorns, Bactrian camels in place of camelops, and many other exotic species, the ecosystem may be able to rebalance. This effort to return America to its former state is not your ordinary charity. In fact, it's not even a charity, it's more of an advocacy program, a work in progress, or a dream of an evolutionary path. Rewilding America of proxy species would help solve many problems that the extinction of their taxonomical cousins caused. By reintroducing similar or proxy species into big Texas-style ranches with expansive grasslands, they can slowly acclimate to their new environment until they're ready for introduction into national parks. Doing so would help solve problems of invasive species and the restoration of unbalanced ecosystems. Such an example would be the use of lions to curb the out-of-control horse population, herbivores to manage the kudzu problem by grazing, and also aid in soil generation and control forest spread. This type of project isn't a new one either. It's been done before, but on much smaller scale, such as the successful reintroduction of gray wolves into the Pleistocene Park, which positively restructured the ecosystem of the park by stimulating the growth of more marshes and ponds, encouraging herbivores to browse more widely and relocating certain species to their original habitats from the park. There's even a park dedicated to this project, in which there are musk oxes and Przewalski horses inhabiting a tract of land that they used to roam. Therefore, reintroducing Pleistocene megafauna would be beneficial to our environment, considering that it would have a similar effect. Hopefully in time, various species will come to inherit the lands their cousins had lost so long ago, restoring America to its former pre-anthropic glory. Yeah.